Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another English with Joseph. It's very nice to be with you again today. I hope you can hear me okay because I'm not using my headset as I usually do. Well, today I want to talk to you about the sequence of tenses. This is a special request from Ludmila in Russia, who had a particular interest in the sequence of tenses. Let's talk. Well, as you know, a sentence is often composed of two parts. Sometimes it's a conditional sentence. One part is dependent on the other. Sometimes we call those dependent sentences, and at other times we call them subordinate clauses or subordinate parts of sentences. That's what I want to talk to you about today, and I just want to go over some rules of the subordinate tenses. They're actually very straightforward, really, but they can be a little bit confusing. Let me explain. Here's a few basic rules, okay? A past tense in the first part of the sentence is usually followed by a past tense in the second part. So the principal part of the sentence, if I can call it that, is often followed by the subordinate part, two clauses, and if there's a past tense in one, there's usually a past tense in the other. For example, she said that she would come. She said that she would come. So you have a past tense in both. Okay. Now the reason why this can be very confusing is because if you're not careful, this could sound like a conditional. Yeah, she said that she would come if something else was there or someone else was there. And this is where the confusion comes in because of English politeness, we sometimes say things like, yeah, I'll come. And we expect you to know that we're not really using a sequence of tenses here. We're not saying that we will come. We're really saying we will come if, and there's a condition attached. So it can be a little bit confusing if you're listening to an English person. Okay, but that aside, leaving that aside for one moment, we're just talking about subordinate clauses in the sequence of tenses. So let me just go through that one more time again. Past tense and past tense is usually how it works. Okay? She said that she would come. I realized that I had made a mistake. I worked hard that I might succeed. I found out that he was guilty. Okay, so those are quite clear. The only one there that wasn't 100% clear was the conditional, okay? Because there could have been an if there. But if we think of would in the past as the past tense of will, then these sentences are all the same. Past in the principal clause, past in the subordinate clause. And that's how it should be. And one more time, would is not to be confused with the conditional. All right? There are a few exceptions to this. A past tense in the principal clause may be followed by a present tense in the subordinate clause when the subordinate clause expresses a universal truth, something which is always true. Maybe you could compare that to the conditional in part one. The teacher said that honesty is the best policy, for example. Galileo maintained or said that the earth moves around the sun, because it still does. When the subordinate clause is introduced by than, it could be in any tense at all. He loved me more than he loves his own children. He loved me more than he loved his own children. He loved me more than he will ever love his own children. That bit over the top there with romance. Oh, you Russians, you probably love that. Anyway, a present or future tense in the principal clause may be followed by any tense in the subordinate clause. Let me explain. I'll say that one more time, okay? A present or future tense in the principal clause may be followed by any tense in the subordinate clause. He says that she was at the club. He says that she is at the club. He says that she will be at the club. He will say that she was at the club. He will say that she is at the club. He will say that she will be at the club. So, just to recap again, there are exceptions, and be careful of would. Okay. When the verb in the main clause is in the future tense, we often use a present tense in the subordinate clause to refer to future time. I will call you when he comes, not I will call you when he will come. Well, I hope that gives you a wonderful view into the sequence of tenses, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this clip as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. Now remember to check out my website, teacherjoseph.com. Follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. Sometimes you see some things on Twitter which don't make it through my blog, so Twitter is a good place to catch me, or Facebook. Or of course you can see my other video clips, as you're probably watching them now on WordPress. Alright, so lovely to see you all, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you. Goodbye.